It's been a while since I've uploaded a football football video, and I haven't really used the mic with any of these videos, but I thought I'd go ahead and throw some up. It's kind of crazy how well this game holds up over the years. Like it's 2019 and I'm still playing this game. If uh if 2K was able to make a college football 2K5, I don't know if I'd be playing any other game right now. The gameplay is just that solid. It's not perfect, but it's definitely probably, I mean, I feel like it's the best or very close to the best for sure. I'm kind of scared to play as anybody else besides the defensive lineman. Oops. Sometimes I'll play as a linebacker if I'm blitzing, or occasionally I'll play as them in like a center zone. But if I ever play as like a cornerback or something, it's like really hard to actually play it right, because more than likely you're just gonna mess it up and have the play blow up on you. I'm actually using the Redskins playbook. I actually like playing as the Redskins a lot in this game. That went nowhere. I like playing a lot as the Redskins. Um, just the combo of Mark Brunell and Clinton Portis is like really good. And then the playbook, I just gotten used to it, so every time I play, I always have the Redskins playbook. I don't know why it's running so slow, the actual game. Fourth and 7. Okay, yeah. I'm actually kind of excited for Maximum Football. I'm cautiously excited. I know where it comes from and the actual time they've had to develop the game. But it's actually been a long time since I've bought a football game, just because I just don't. It's not that I hate Madden. It's just that It's just I've grown accustomed to knowing that I'm probably not gonna like it, and I haven't played any of the newer Maddens at all. And it's not that I wouldn't be able to, have some fun with them. I just feel that there's just something about them that just draws me away from them. And maybe part of it's a little bit political, because I feel like I'm participating in sack. I'm participating in uh, what feels like a monopoly, because there's no other way that a football game can get made, simply because licensed games seem to be the most profitable, and so no other companies are really going to put the resources forward to cater to a niche market like non-licensed football games, which in the past, that's for the most part, that's a lot of what there was. But as licensed games like Madden and the 2K games and Game Day and all those games, after those kind of became the norm, there wasn't really any going back. That's kind of the sad part. But the good part about it is that for independent developers like Canuck Play and Dave Winter and all those guys, there is a niche market for non-licensed football games, and it's really up to us to make them profitable markets. Because without it being profitable, nobody's going to do it. And that's kind of the sad reality with people that can't see that. They don't understand. They don't understand that it's really never going to change unless they vote with their dollars. And it's really as simple as it gets. If they don't vote with their dollars, then it's just never going to change. I was seeing Cal Anderson's football game, and it's definitely light years behind anything that we've seen so far. It's definitely behind Access Football, for sure behind Maximum Football. I don't want to criticize it in a negative way. For any of you that watched Ryan Moody, I know that Ryan Moody was talking about it. And, well, there's not too much to say about it. You know, it's obviously in a very, very primitive stage. And it sounds like Cal Anderson has his eyes set on a release in the near future. But I'm kind of worried about that because, you know, nobody's gonna, you know, rush to their consoles or their PCs to go and play Football History, his game. I just don't see it. You know, it's just light years behind anything else. But the good thing is that he's still moving forward with his project, and that's really the best thing he can do right now, is just keep going, keep building on what he has. I don't think that it's in a marketable stage right now, and I would hope, and I do feel like he knows that. I sort of feel like he's I don't know, he puts out these videos and these updates, and I feel like in the back of his mind, in the back of his mind, he's seeing, or he's hoping that there's a slice of the market that's going to pay attention to his game, and there's probably going to be a lot more people that will support him, support his project through encouragement and maybe some money, but it's not going to be through excitement over the actual game or the gameplay. But the more projects we get going, the more people that we get working on games, the more developers that we support, um, I think that the better off we'll be, because uh, the the good thing about Canuck Play and Maximum Football is that it's not their first game. I don't know how much you guys have looked into it, but uh, Canuck Play as a legal entity is relatively new. But Dave Winter, he's been making football games since the 90s. If you go all the way back to 99, he was the one that made the first licensed CFL game. It was called CFL 99. And it was, it looked like Madden, the old Maddens with the 2D sprite art. And I mean, for sprite art, it looked pretty good. And then he made Maximum Football 2.0. So it's not his first go around. And I feel like that's why he is having more success. He's having more success because he actually has experience in developing football games. So I'm really excited to see what we get out of Maximum Football in the coming years, for sure. And now that they have Doug Floutie behind it, I mean, that was a huge move to get a name like Doug Floutie behind a football game. And it's kind of reminiscent of the old football games that would have some athlete's name attached to it. So it's definitely nostalgic in that way, for sure. Um, so very, very excited to see what's going to come out of Maximum Football. And I haven't seen too much from Axis Football recently. Axis Football is. I remember when it was first. Oh, I better get this fumble. There we go. I remember seeing Axis Football before it came out, and they've certainly made a few strides. They've definitely improved over the years. I haven't played anything beyond 15 or 16, and it's not because I don't want them to do well or I'm not interested in the project. It's just it's not a game that I can play long term. Try to get this field goal here. It's not a game that I that I can really play, and that's not a negative thing. I spoke to the one of the designers over some stuff, probably like a year ago now, and no, they're really good people for sure, and they have a lot that they want to do, and I feel like they're definitely moving forward. That they have some uh, really interesting stuff as far as certain developers that they're getting on board. So it'll be exciting to see how Access evolves in the coming years. Um, but in my mind, if I had to rate all the independent football games that are available, I would say that Canuck Play and Maximum Football is probably number one right now. Um, Followed by, I would say, Well, I guess Access and Maximum are the only ones available right now. But as far as hype, Maximum Football, and then Access Football, and then behind them, I guess it would be IMV Gaming, which I know people are kind of upset about what's going on with IMV, and it's actually really interesting because the whole deal with IMV Gaming is that those guys are not developers. Those two, I don't know if they're brothers or just friends, but they are not developers. But they still want to see a new game be made, and so they took a different route. They said, since we have absolutely no skill that can be put forward to developing a video game, um, let's try to use our marketing ability, our selling ability to garner support for a project and try to get made that way. And they, in that respect, they were successful, or they have been successful. They've gotten some pretty significant names to back their project. But it's not. It's definitely a different process for sure, and I think that's why people are put off by it, because they don't see the tangible results like Maximum Football or Access Football. Because Access and Maximum have actual games that you can play and you can see how they change. And IMV doesn't have that yet. They just have screenshots, big names, and promises, right? Which is a part of marketing, but because they don't have anything tangible besides screenshots and things that they say they're going that they're going to do, that is going to be not the nail in their coffin, but that's what's going to hold them back. And until they just push forward and get something tangible for the market to see, I feel like it's going to continue to be that way. But it's for sure a different kind of process. It's not like Dave Winter, where he is himself a programmer and he can tell you what's going on, or like Danny Jugan from Access that can tell you this is what we're trying to do. I'm going to open up this code and tell you how this is supposed to work and how we're going to change it. The guys at IMV can't do any of that because they're not developers. And that's really the biggest issue with them. And so I don't really pay attention too much to them. But that's really what I see going on there with IMV. But overall, it's a pretty exciting time because we haven't had so many alternative games being made, and we really have to. I know a lot of people say this, and it's kind of beating a dead horse, but I feel like there's still enough people that don't really understand, and they just want to compare games to AAA titles. And me being a gamer beyond football games, I have a more, I guess, intricate understanding of how the indie community works and what the expectations are for independent games. There's a bigger understanding of the scope of independent games, I think, among non-football gamers. And I don't know exactly why that is, but I definitely see that. If you look at all the independent uh, games that have had a lot of success or even moderate success, nobody's comparing those games to the very highest quality in their genre, right? Nobody compares an independent RPG game to Skyrim or Dragon's Dogma or any other or Assassin's Creed, right? Nobody compares those games. They don't expect the same thing from them. But the mindset from those games or from that game genre to this game genre of football, it's a totally different story. I feel like, you know, people who for the most part only play football games or only play sports games, I can't say this for sure, but I do feel like it's just a different perspective and probably a lack of understanding of what indie games are, right? And it's sort of like, oh, he's screwed. Is he gonna catch that? No. It's it's definitely frustrating to see the mindset that some people have. Um, the mindset is just, oh, I forgot about King Havo's uh, Legend Bowl. Completely forgot about his game. Um, I'm actually, I'm pleased to see where he's taken his game and the changes that the because he's gone through a lot of different stuff. Um, he's gone through he's gone through different iterations and trying to refactor and restructure his game, and he's getting to the point where he has actual gameplay and actual features, and it's really cool to see Havo's game come to fruition, for sure. Um, for anybody that's watching, um, I myself, I'm working on a football game, but it's been a long time since I've actually done anything with it. I've just been focused on a lot of stuff right now. Um, but I actually, when I was in the beginning stages of it, I actually was talking to Havo, and we were considering working together since we had a similar game idea, and our game designs differed in a lot of ways, but they were also similar in a lot of ways, and that's why we thought about it. And he's really cautious, and rightfully so, because he was ready to go. I mean, he was absolutely um, he wanted to make sure that his the developing partner was 100% committed and able to work on the project. And in the end, it turned out that, you know, I guess you could call them creative differences, but in the end, we didn't end up working together. It would have been really cool to work together, but I uh I really wish him the best, and it's really exciting to see his game come about and all the hard work that he's put into it and the changes that he's made in his life to to accommodate for his game and his game development passions and all that stuff. It's really good. Get him. Come on. There's this play, this Bearman 1 play. I kind of use it all the time. And it's usually because this linebacker here usually can get him unblocked. Which that time you have to get him like right off the line. But I'm usually in this bear defense. And I kind of feel like the computer kind of has a lot of time to pass, and so if you don't really stack the box, he's just gonna pick you apart all day, you know, throwing the ball. Let's see if I can't stuff this play. Goal line stand. Third down. Whew. Okay, I'm going to switch to Bear here. Oh. Well, this game just got interesting. Okay, they're going to go for the field goal. Probably not going to block this. For anybody that's played all-pro football, if you ever play that game online, which it's so hard to find people to play online, there's like 10 people that play that game consistently, and they'll add you to their group and everything. But there's this one guy. He's usually not part of the main community of people that play that game, but he does this thing where on like a field goal, he'll move one of the linemen over. And he does this thing where as soon as the play starts, he'll make one player, he'll dive one of the linemen, knock your guy down, and the guy behind him will just run in and he'll block that. He'll block a field goal like 99% of the time. It's so annoying. It's just stupid how some people get into that sort of cheese. Then there's this other guy. He did like so many pre-snap adjustments, and so I did this thing where I would start playing no huddle. And then he wouldn't have as much time to or I'd hike the ball really fast, and he wouldn't have time to do all of his pre-snap adjustments. I guess they're just gonna let me go here. And so what he would do is he would start off in like a like a quarters defense to where there's like 4 or 5 men in the secondary. And so they start off way in the back and they're walking up to the line of scrimmage, and you can't start the play until they get set, and that gives them like 15-20 seconds to set everything up the way he wants it to. It's crazy how much non-football stuff. Oh, wow. That was perfect. Perfect. Yeah, there's a lot of cheese in... Well, there's a little bit of cheese in 2K8. But I try to not do any of that kind of stuff just because, you know, when I play football game, I want to play football, you know. I don't want to play any cheesy stuff. I just want to play the football strategy. That's it, you know. That's just my style. And then you'll get guys that they'll edit their teams and they'll make them like 300 pound running backs. It's just stupid. And then they show up. They show up to play an online game with that kind of stuff like it's normal, like, you know, like they're not doing something cheesy. And they'll sit there and try to defend it and stuff. It's just annoying. I mean, the guys that play that game are real good. They're real good people. It's just you play with some people, and there's just one guy in particular. I think his name is Benny. I haven't played 2K online in so long, but Benny has these 300-pound running backs, and he always has some excuse for it, you know. He tries to justify it by like talking about something about the ratings aren't high enough or whatever it is, but you know, it's just everybody's got this little bit of cheese, I think. Not everybody, but some people do. It's a fun game to play online though, especially when people just play it normal, play it right. Those are the funnest games I've ever had. Okay. I don't want this video to get any longer, so I really have to stop them. Even if it goes into overtime, I think I'll just cut it short. Boom. Move these guys back a little bit. It's a screen. This is it right here. What's he gonna do? That's it. Alright guys, that was a long video, but I hope you got something out of it. If you got any I like to know what people think as far as what's going on in the, I guess the sim community you'd call it, but yeah, just let me know. See you guys later.